What's up, foodies? Today I'm going to show you the simplest way to cook a standing prime rib roast. The prime rib roast, the Christmas roast, the special occasion roast, because it's so expensive, it's not a cut you have every week or even once a month. And this is the Christmas roast I cook every year. And I want to make sure I cook it perfect every single time. My way of cooking a prime rib roast is super easy. It's actually less stressful on Christmas Day when you're cooking. It goes in the oven and you leave it. It's great, so let's get into it. So first things first, you want to take your rib roast out of the fridge. You want to place it on the counter for 2 hours before you're going to cook it. You want to bring it up to room temperature because this method is going to require it to be at room temperature for it to work. Now cooking it this way is going to give you a medium rare roast. So while our roast is resting and coming up to room temperature, we're going to go to our oven and set it to 500 degrees Celsius. Not Celsius, Fahrenheit. Celsius will turn it into a crisp. So we're going to turn our oven on to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and let that preheat for about an hour. While our roast is resting and we got our oven preheating to 500 degrees for 1 hour, we're going to get everything else ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our rib roast onto a tray of vegetables. So we're going to prep our vegetables while it's resting. The roasting tray I'm using today is the Buyer Affinity roasting pan. It's the one they sent out to me to try, so I'm giving it a little test out today. If you'd like to grab some of the Buyer products or this tray, they are giving my followers 10% off. The link's in the description below. Now, I like to use basic root vegetables when I'm roasting my prime rib roast. So I'll cut an onion in half, place them face down, because that'll help brown the flesh of the onion and give it a nice flavor to the gravy. So when the onions are flat down, they also give it more of a sturdy base for the roast to sit on. So throw those in, throw in a couple carrots, a couple celery stalks, a little bit of herbs. Today I'm using some thyme. You can use rosemary, oregano. Place it all in the pan, drizzle it with a bit of olive oil, and lay it aside while we get our roast ready. Now after our roast has rested for 2 hours, it's ready to get seasoned for the oven. So you can take your big roast, and we're going to give it a nice generous helping of your favorite olive oil. Give it a rub all over the bones in the little crevices, get it nice and coated. It's going to help the salt stick. Now give the roast a nice coating of kosher salt. Make sure you use lots of salt here. It is a big piece of meat, and you want to make sure you season enough. If you use too little, you're going to notice it later, and it's not going to be as good. Make sure you get in around the bones, give it a nice rub. Then give it a nice crack of fresh pepper all over as well. Now we're going to take our rib roast, put it rib side down on top of our vegetables, and place it into the oven and close the door. Now, here's the trick. For every single bone that you have in that roast, so mine's a 2-bone roast, you're going to cook it for 15 minutes per bone. If you have a 3-bone roast, 45 minutes. You have a 4-bone roast, 60 minutes. You get the idea. So after 30 minutes, I'm going to turn off the oven to my roast. And do not open the door. Do not look at it, walk away, forget about it. Set a timer for 2 hours and let it do its thing. Once your roast is in the oven and the oven's turned off and cooking, get everything else ready for the day. Get your sides ready, mingle with family, have a few drinks, have some fun and relax. After 2 hours has elapsed, pull your roast from the oven. It is ready to go. I mean, you could take this off, cut the bones, save them for later like I do. Now, we're making gravy with this. You can make a horseradish sauce, which I have a link to in the description below or somewhere on this page for a card. It's great horseradish sauce. My in-laws love it. I love it. It's good if you don't want to make gravy. But we're going to make gravy, and we're going to need that roasting pan. You can put a little bit of tinfoil over your roast while it's resting while you make your gravy. We're going to take our roasting pan with our vegetables and our drippings and put it on our stove and bring it up to a boil. The best part about this pan is it works on induction. A lot of roasting pans I have, they don't, and I can't do this. I have to transfer everything over to a pot, and it's extra steps I don't want to deal with. So I'm going to place it on, bring it up to a boil. Once it's up to a boil, we're going to add in half a cup of red wine, cook it down. Then we're going to add in 2 tablespoons of flour, cook it off for about 2 minutes to get rid of that raw flour taste. Then we're going to add in 1 liter of beef stock and 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. And then we're going to let that cook down until it's the desired thickness of the gravy we want. Once the gravy is the thickness we like, we're going to strain off the vegetables. You can do that by putting a colander into another pot and pouring it in. Now you're going to notice there's a bit of fat on top. You can strain that off with a spoon, or if you have one of these little gadgets, you pour it in the sauce into this. It'll separate the fat from the gravy, and you can pour off the fat. It's great. I use these all the time for making gravies. Once that's ready, you can add about a half a cup of cream to this to make it an extra rich gravy, or eat it as is. I like it how it is. We're going to season with salt and pepper, and then there we go. Our gravy is done and ready to go. It's time to cut it up. We're going to cut the bones off, just simple and easy. Cut them in half. You can plate these up for people to have between me and you. I like to save these bones for later on Christmas night for when I need a snack. Me and the dog have a little treat. It's our thing. Once that's done, you're going to simply just turn the roast on its side using a serrated blade or a slicing knife. You're going to cut down through the roast. You're gonna cut it to about 1/4 inch thick slices and then plate it up. And there you have it. That's how you do a fail-proof rib roast for Christmas dinner or for any special occasion. Guys, let me know what your favorite Christmas dinner is in the comments below. I know a lot of people like turkey. I'm personally a roast beef fan. Let me know what you eat if you're vegan, vegetarian. Let me know what you have for Christmas dinner. And if you like the video, give a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and until next time, Foodie out.